evening. I am now in Silver Lake. VidCon is over. Went to Disney yesterday, as you will have seen. It was pretty lucky because I'm traveling on my own, and I got there and I was on my own, and I think that Disneyland is probably like the most depressing place in the world to be on your own, because it's just like full of friends and like families and everyone's having a great time, and you're just like there like, well, this is shit. But luckily I ran into Taha, and coincidentally he was going around the park with Hank Green and Tessa Violet, and who are two of my like favourite oldie, like I've been following them since like 2008, and a few other people, and Taha's friend Sam, who's super nice, and so I went around with them, and it was really fun. And then this morning I came to Silver Lake, so I'm like done with VidCon, and then I had a really nice evening chatting to the Airbnb hosts. They're super nice, and they have these adorable cats and a dog. It was actually particularly nice because although I had a great time at VidCon, I'm just like quite glad to have done that now. I also realised, especially this evening, just chatting to my hosts at this Airbnb who have nothing to do with YouTube, how much I was aware of the like hierarchy at VidCon. A lot of people there are kind of trying to network and trying to social climb a bit, maybe. Like, it's just the system there. That's what it really cultivates, I think, in the people who attend, because like I said before, there's this hierarchy of badges, and then there's also like obviously the hierarchy of how many subscribers you have if you're a creator, and just like some people are really famous and some people are a bit famous, and I think even though I was outside of that, which I'm glad of, I felt it weighing on me at certain times. Like, I didn't feel like I should go and talk to someone because they might be too busy, or they might think I just want to talk to them because they're famous or something, and I don't like that feeling at all. So this evening was really nice because I was just chatting to some people who just didn't have anything to do with that, and were just hanging out. Tomorrow I'm going to the USC. I'm going to meet Anthony D'Angelo, who is awesome. I met him at VidCon, and he's so nice and so clever. I love it. He is the executive director of the Internet Creators Guild, which is a really interesting organisation, which is kind of trying to promote like labour rights for content creators. I'm actually going to be interviewing Anthony for my research, and it's going to be the first like formal interview that I will have done. And then later in the day I am going to hang out with David Craig, who is a professor at USC and has a book about YouTube coming out in January, a book that he's co-written with Stuart Cunningham, who's at QUT, the Queensland University of Technology. There's another researcher called Michael Siciliano, who works at UCLA, but will be working at USC shortly, who also has been researching YouTube, and I met him at VidCon. We chatted for a bit, but he also lives in Echo Park, which is like the one area over from here. So hopefully I'll get to see him again, and it's just nice to like meet these people who are studying YouTube. Yeah. Good morning. I am in the Airbnb, and there's this hilarious cat who is chatting to me. Hello. Oh, that's a good cat bed. Look at this. This is like monstrous. Meow. Anyway, now I'm off to USC to see the campus and to meet Anthony and David. Hello, I am at the USC campus, and I've just finished meeting with Anthony and then David. It was really nice to chat to both of them. I interviewed Anthony, and that was really, really helpful. Thanks, Anthony, if you're watching. And then I hung out with David, and he's so nice. And it's just really cool to meet some other people who are studying YouTube, because there just aren't that many, like weirdly, not that many people doing it. The thing that was like particularly cool about talking to David was that it was just nice to talk to someone else who's had, is like going through the same questions like as I am in terms of studying YouTube, like things to do with like structure and agency, looking at algorithms and data, and like also like the cultural, like audience interactions and stuff like that, which are all like the same sorts of questions that I'm looking at, as well as the commercialization. I hope that I'll come across him again. Well, I'm sure I will, at like some other academic event like ICA or AOIR or something like that. So this is where a lot of really famous people in the media theory world live, like work, like Henry Jenkins and Manuel Castells and Sarah Banet-Weiser, who is coming to be the head of our department at LSE next year, but is currently the head of the department here, and she's super nice, so that's really awesome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Zero. This is Zero. He's super cute. How's it going? Another dog has just arrived. This is like the best day ever. Hey kitty cat, you having a nice time there? Yeah, it's a pretty good life you've got here, isn't it? Yeah. It's now Thursday. Today I am having a bit of a quiet day because basically I've just been really busy the whole time I've been here, meeting up with people and doing cool stuff, which is great, but I'm feeling a bit like I've come down with some kind of flu type situation, not feeling 100%, probably because I've just overdone it a bit. So I'm just spending a day at the Airbnb, and I'm not going to have a completely off day, because actually I'm going to use today to write up all my notes from VidCon, and maybe even to transcribe my interview with Anthony, although transcribing interviews takes a really long time, so I might not do that today. I'm not sure, we'll see how it goes. Luckily they have like an amazing balcony thing here. Let me just show you, because it's super cool. It's very nice and peaceful. There's just like a few cars going past, and it's just quite chill. I mean, coming from London, I'm used to like a busy city, but LA is quite intense, and especially if you don't have a car, you have to like get public transport. It's just quite difficult to like get around, so it's nice to just have a day where I don't have to think about where I'm going and how to get there, basically. Also, in terms of writing field notes, it's important to like write them up as quickly as possible, so I was taking notes whilst I was at VidCon, as you can see here. This is my notebook, which has all my stuff on it, but you can see there's just like lots of pages of stuff that I've written down. I need to flesh it out and really add the kind of detail, you know. At the moment it's just like shorthand notes of like what I heard at talks, or like things that I discussed with people, just brief little notes. But when you write up field notes, like ethnographic field notes, you want to add, I guess, like add the colour, so like explain how I felt there and what the place looked like and what the space was like, and the structure of the event and the types of people who were there. You know, it's more narrative, really. So that will probably take quite a long time, because I was there for, well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days of VidCon events, and usually the rule is, the kind of rough rule is that you write like 1,000 words for every hour of field work that you do. But because there was a lot of repetition at VidCon, you know, in terms of, I don't need to explain what the space is like twice, because I was at the same space the whole time. So that's fine. I probably won't be writing 1,000 words for every hour, but I certainly will be writing quite a lot of detail. And part of the process of writing up the notes properly is really me like taking the time to think in a more critical way about what I experienced there, because when I was there I was spending a lot of time sort of networking with people, talking to people. It doesn't give you much of a chance to really like reflect on what you've heard. So in the process of writing up the notes, I'll really be thinking about the broader structures and like what it means, what the things mean that I heard, and how I can understand them in relation to my research. But VidCon's quite a major part of my research in terms of offline fieldwork, because it's like a very big world sort of industry setting event. So there was presence from not only YouTube but also Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, and they were all kind of pitching because the people who attend VidCon are some of the most famous creators in the online video world. So basically all those platforms want to get those content creators to come over to their platform, and there's a lot of vying for those content creators' business at the moment. So that was really interesting. I also found out, strange that I didn't know this already because it was announced in May, but I found out that the next European VidCon, rather than being in Amsterdam, it's going to be in London, which is awesome. It's going to be in February 2019, so hopefully I'll go to that. I wasn't planning to go to the Amsterdam one necessarily because I don't have the funding for it, but if it's in London, that should be quite easy to attend, although the industry track tickets are quite expensive, like hundreds of pounds, so we'll have to see how that goes. But it would be really interesting to see the difference between a London-based event and an LA-based event, because they're both like centres of media industries, but LA, like the VidCon here is much more established. It's been going for a long time, and it's also like the home of Hollywood and stuff, so it's got a different emphasis. And because it's in California, it also has like all the tech industries here, so the London one would be a bit less established, I assume, obviously because it would be like the first one there, but also because the industry there is different. So I'd be really interested to see what it's like, and it will also just be nice to go to one that's in my own city, because culturally it might be a bit different. Hello, it's been a couple of days since I last filmed anything, and that is because I got flu in LA, which is kind of a bummer because it means I've just been like bedridden for 2 days of my holiday, but I'm still here. I'm leaving tomorrow and I feel a bit better this evening, so I thought I would at least use the last evening to come up to the Griffith Observatory, which is like famous because it was in La La Land and stuff, but it's an observatory, and there's also like a really amazing view of LA from here. So I've come up here to see the sunset. So as you can see behind me, it's pretty crazy. I'm not even at the observatory yet, which is just over there. Wow, there's an amazing view from here, look. Observatory show, and that was so cool. It's kind of like an 80s sci-fi film. There was like this old guy with like a planet scarf, tie, and just like incredible, like in the observatory, which is that big building, the big dome. Everything. It was like going to the IMAX, but it was curved, and they just talked about the history of astronomy and like the planets. Oh, that was like amazing. I definitely recommend anyone coming to LA to go to that. That was so cool. The sun is setting behind me, as you can see. It's a pretty amazing view here. LA is just like unbelievably big, so it's LA as far as the eye can see and beyond.
that's the end of this vlog. Thanks for watching very much. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to. I post new videos every Friday, and yeah, see you next week. Bye!